welcome to another edition of Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, joining me is our cute little kitten. So I was going to show you some really cool editing techniques and shooting techniques that we did over with the kitten with a wide-angle lens, but since we had the SpaceX go off here in Florida, we decided let's change up the topic today on how to edit photos, or how to make low quality photos look their best. All right, so you better get going. There you go. So we had some incredible shots of the cat, or of the kitten, that we'll save for another coffee break. And we did use the Fuji wide angle lens for this one that just absolutely looked adorable. I'm dying to show you those, but before I do, I really want to show you some of the SpaceX photos. So let's jump right into it. So here is a SpaceX photo, and I gotta be honest, no, I didn't take it. I did see the launch go off. We were driving, we pulled over, and we watched it like all Floridians do, and it was just so absolutely adorable, or gorgeous. I'm sorry, I looked at what Julie was saying. The launch was just absolutely spectacular. From my distance, there was no way I can get that shot. And this shot here, if we look at it closer, we'll look at the stats on it. It's 3,000 by 2,000 pixels. So that means that either the person who photographed this, again, it came from Unsplash, they either uploaded a low-res image, or they were so far away, which typically that's what happens when I've been at space launch or shuttle launches before, where you're so far away and with a naked eye you could see the shuttle, but not like this. And even with a 200 millimeter zoom, it wasn't close enough. I put a 2x on it, or I'm sorry, a 1.4x on it, and I still couldn't get a perfect shot without cropping it. So let's visualize either a cell phone photo, or if it's a photo where you had to crop the living daylights out of to get a decent shot. What I want to do is show you how to make it look its best. Now keep in mind, you'll use Photoshop or other programs that actually enlarge it, all right? So before we begin, let's look at the actual size we could print this at, all right? So let's go right here. This was an article I've written for Photo Focus a few years back. The title of it is, How Many Megapixels Do I Really Need for Printing? And it actually gives you a simple formula that tells you what the megapixel is of your camera based on the height and width. All right, we're going to calculate the megapixel need for a high quality print. So if you already know the size of the print that you want, then you would plug it in this formula, and this will tell you how many megapixels minimum you need to get that print. What we want to do is calculate the largest size we can print a 300 ppi, pixels per inch image. All right, so the formula is, or is it? It's with time, here, I just had it. So I know the formula, I'm trying to find it for you right here. It's going to be, we'll go back to here. All right, so this is what we'll do. It's our pixels per inch divided by 300. Pixels per inch divided by 3. So let me pull up the calculator. So we already know 3,000 divided by 300. Well, that's 10 inches. All right, so we have that down. And then we also know that the size of the width was 2,000. Divide that by 300. And that's 6.6 or 6.7. So we could print this image that we're looking at right here, a 10 by 6. So 10 by 6 is the largest we could print this, which is probably the equivalent of a 6 by 9. Now remember, that's at 300 pixels per inch for the best print possible. You could easily print this as an 8x10 and get a very good print out of it. All right, so that's the formula, and I gave you the websites in the description. All right, so let's get into the editing parts. We know how many pixels we need, and we all figured out all that. Now let's make the image look its absolute best. And for that, I'm going to turn on the laser or the mouse highlighter. I'm going to click on the looks tools or the looks button, and that's going to bring up the looks panel. And with the looks panel, let's make sure we have essential tools selected. Now I'm just going to click on the very first one, the AI image enhancer, and automatically, look how cool that is. Automatically looks better. So now that we're in the edit panel, let's click on the essential tools, and these are the tools that look used. I'm going to click on the AI enhancer, and I want to bring the sky down just a little bit. Good. And the accent AI, nope, that does a great job at the color, the detail, tone, and depth of the image, so I'm going to leave that. We've already enriched the blacks under the light. Yep. Let's bring a little bit more in. Oh, I like that. The whites, let's make it not as bright. Good. So far, everything's looking great. I like the color. Here's what I want to do now is I want to bring more detail into the image. And when I do that, let's click on the zoom button, and we want to come in at 100%, just so we can actually get a good feel of what we're doing when we're working with either like the detail enhancer or even denoise. We want to get it to the actual size to see the results. All right. So I like to start with the medium detail. Now I notice that when I bump that up, I can already see an increase in the detail, almost like sharpening. Let's bring large. Good, but now watch what happens when we use small details. When I bring the small details in, an issue I'm running into is right here. Look at the ghosting that's happening. All right, so instead, let's bring that back a little bit. Right about to a negative. Good. All right. Already that's looking good. Now that we did that, if you notice there's a lot of noise in the photo, so let's click on denoise. I just did this just to give us more real estate. Now, luminosity denoise is going to deal with the grays in the image, the gray noise, whereas color denoise is going to deal with the color banding in the colors. Let's go to 100%. Nice. So before, after, and it's processing, there it is. All right. So I'm going to get a little more aggressive. And I like using the luminosity denoise, and it's not giving me, if you notice around here, when I do that, it's not making it like plasticky looking with some of the denoise filters I've seen. So I like how this actually cleans it up and makes it look better. Here's before, here's after. Good, fit full screen. And there we have it. All right, so the key to making a cell phone photo or even like an image like this where you do a lot of cropping on it, make it look better, is denoise and your detail enhancer. So you want to make sure the colors look good. You want to make sure the image itself is properly exposed, and that's where AI accent comes in. But the two tools that really help us the most in situations like this is that denoise and the detail enhancer, because we want to bring more detail into the image, but at the same time, we want to make sure that for the denoise it cleans up any of that. All right, good. Let's see. Viewing distance is critical. Yes, Rick, thank you so much. Rick brought up a good point. Let me do this. There we go. Sorry, right there. Yeah, Rick brings out a good point. Viewing distance is very critical. Epson years ago gave me the huge 9800 printer, and I could print 3.5 foot panels by whatever I want. And I did make a couple really large prints for friends of mine. And one of the issues we realized is that if we printed it at 300 pixels per inch, full size, you're looking at a gig for a file. And like you said, the viewing distance, it was going to be up on a building and you're not seeing it from a distance. So 72 PPI would have been perfect for a print like that. Now, if it's something where, like this here, or the other image I have on the side, where people can actually go up and touch it and look at it, that's when you want the optimal 300 PPI settings. Good call on that one. Okay, you know what? I was afraid you guys were going to say that. Yes, I had the convertible top down, and I picked up a friend from the airport, and we drove, not thinking I should have put sunscreen on. So yes, we did that, and we did a whole photo shoot at the beach. So I'm glad you guys caught that. I was worried. I wasn't aware of a beanie. All right, any other questions we have? Monday. Hello, awesome. Good. All right, so again, so that's a real quick way to make cell phone images and our other image that we have to crop in and make look better. Now, if you like these coffee breaks, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up and let us know. Also in the comments below, we're trying to keep these shorter and right to the point, but the problem with that is that we don't have communication back and forth, so we're experimenting with a Zoom afterwards. So after the coffee break, for those that want to join in, where you can actually talk one-on-one about the concept that we just did and maybe ask other questions that'll help us or lead us up to the next one. All right? So if you're thinking that would be helpful, drop a comment below. So yes, I do think the Zoom after the coffee break meetings will be cool. And we'll stick around for 15, 20 minutes and answer questions one-on-one where we can actually answer them in real time. All right? Well, hey guys, thanks so much for joining us. And again, I hope to see you tomorrow at our coffee break.